Editor, our dear sister Mike.
Smyke, S-M-Y-K-E.
You know, Mike,
Smyke.
S-M-Y-K-E.
S-M-Y-K-E. So I am here at the home. Could you imagine? She's 106 years old, and
how
she's
much days?
and how many days? Wow! And she's actually correcting me. Right?
Mommy, watch the camera, eh?
All right.
You can rest it here.
I will show.
Go ahead. Get her name, her
Right.
age, and date of birth.
Yeah. Okay.
Rest it right here.
Sorry?
Mike.
Yeah, you keep it there, so I can get your voice.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
That one would be difficult for me, you know. You know me.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Let us know who you are. What is your name?
Both name or
Yes.
Give us your maiden name first.
Your maiden name.
where?
Your maiden name.
RITA SMYKE.
RITA SMYKE.
Okay.
And we are very proud to know that your age.
Look, I think I make a mistake, you know.
It's okay.
No, you go ahead.
My name, maiden name you want?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your maiden name?
Or the marriage?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Oh. Well, my maiden name was Philanix.
And your
Philanix Roberts.
Roberts.
And mind you, she's 106 and she is very articulate, very definitive. Philanix Roberts. And your marriage name.
Well, I was married twice, you know, so I had to take the last one.
Just give her the last one, mommy. Give her the last one.
Right.
Tell us your age. How old are you?
Ah, boy. Well, you will.
106. So you're a centenarian. Do you remember your date of birth?
Of course.
Go on.
I was born the 13th, the 29th of December, 1913.
19?
13.
So you're a Capricorn.
Yeah.
So am I. Could you tell us where you were born?
I was born Madingo Road.
Where is that? In the companies?
5th Company Village.
No, Noxus Company.
5th Company Village.
Huh?
5th Company. This is
5th Company?
yes.
No.
It's just on the side of the school. As you reach 5th Company Baptist Primary School.
No. In that road?
Yes.
What wasn't there was on the Madingo Road section.
Okay.
But the Mandingo Road is that road right there. The Mandingo Road, 5th Company, starts at the junction by the 5th Company. 5th Company Baptist
5th
School.
Company
Yes.
start on the Moruga Road.
Yes.
Ended up on the Madingo Road.
Right, yes, okay. All right, okay.
Am I wrong?
No, but it's Mandingo Road is a road that spins off of 5th Company.
You see? Madingo Road.
Yes.
Madingo Road start from the
School. Right.
Baptist school.
Yes.
And that goes straight down until it joins the Kumuta Road.
Very good.
And on Kumuta Road, at the ending of the Madinga Road, it joins to the Kumuta Road and gone over to the St. Cross Road.
All right, yes. Extremely, very, very explicit. I must commend you for being able to have that intellectual capacity.
At that
one-
age. At that age.
Yeah, that age, yeah. I must applaud you for that.
Yes.
Yes. You had mentioned on one occasion that you grew up there, and what was your most interesting memory as a child? And
You know, country children grow up. First, I was a Catholic. First religion was Catholic. I was confirmed when I was the age of
12, 13.
or the age of about 10 years, roughly. I was confirmed. But yes, I was that I don't want to lie.
Okay, roughly, approximately.
Roughly,
Yeah.
about that. That was the Catholic system. About that. And then I stayed in that Christian religion for years until I become a womanhood. Because when I was married, I still was under the Catholic system rule. And when I got married, I changed off from that religion and accept the Baptist religion, because all my parents were Baptists.
Americans.
American.
Right, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
All my parents was American.
Yes. And as you meant, stick on American, so therefore it is believed by our research, we still want to validate that you very well be the oldest female American alive, and it would be fitting for us to refer to you as the matriarch, the female. So how do you feel to be termed the matriarch of the American religion, of the American self, of the American legacy, the American females? You know, it may very well mean that I'm still doing research and we are still trying to attempt to get it clear. If there may well be anyone who have lived beyond 106 as a female, we know last year, Fitzroy, he died at 108 years, Reverend Adolphus Richardson from Cokie village. But now God has blessed you to reach 106. And as American, it is indeed a beautiful an achievement. How do you feel right now, as we are interviewing you, to have that status of 106? I am 71, and when I was 61 years ago, when I was 10 years, 69, 62 years ago, when I was just 9, I remember seeing you, and you are the only person alive as a friend, as I say. I'm proud. We always started nicely when we live at Rotia, opposite Air Avenue.
Correct.
Right. So, how do you feel to know that you have went from those times to now? What the Americans used to do in those years that again gave you that sweet remembrance?
Well, the truth is, and this, in my days growing up, as my mother religion family, I didn't like to hear this word American.
All right.
When we heard about American, you see, I was born on the Madinga Road.
Yes.
So, those that, the ending of Madinga Road, we used to call them American.
All right. All right.
Follow me?
I follow you.
So we did never like when we hear American here.
Okay, for those who are listening, pause a while. Now you heard it is very beautiful to understand what she's saying. And she's speaking so honestly because it was a kind of taboo a taboo to be referred to as American, because they look at, you're making babash from the man kind of thing. Illegal. But do you know, people who are listening, wherever you are, whatever part of the world, the babash is a sort of a homemade backyard alcoholic beverage. But there was no tax to gain from that. I mean, we're on the air, let's face it. But I can recall about 60 years ago, 55 years ago, when the blue police jeep very frequently will arrest these gentlemen who were making the bush rum or babash rum and take them to the station. Because, but according to you, and so they were people who were not considered as people of any worth, So this is why it is nice to know. So, but as we are speaking right now with this interview, we have been able to set the pace. Now we have had a gentleman named Mr. John Hackshaw. Because John Hackshaw is the one who was responsible to ensure that we can resurface people like John Hackshaw and Boise Huggins. You know Boise Huggins?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Right. Okay, he's also deceased Patrick Manning's wife's daddy, Hazel Manning. So her maiden name was Hazel Huggins. So there we go. So the Americans have surfaced to become a viable entity now. We are all very happy. This is why the American Heritage Foundation is a team that I belong to. And we are trying right now to ensure that we can continue inspiring the elderly and most of the youths. So this is why we are taking time this evening. I know you may not be in that kind of total 100% health, but this is a time, we don't want to take much time, but it's critical and important for our young people to know that
where the root comes from.
Yes, and that at that time, it was a bad thing to say that you're American.
Of course.
Right?
You used to
Tell us.
feel that kind of...
Yes. Express yourself. How does it feel?
Well, in those days,
Yeah,
my
right.
childhood days growing up,
Yeah.
we used to kind of American. We used to ignore that.
All right.
We are American.
No, the fact that I'm in every day, I want people to know, she says she used to ignore it, and there was a reason. And some people who do not know the word American, the fact that American referred to our foreparents, her foreparents, my foreparents, who came to Trinidad in year about 1816. They came here from America. They fought in the Napoleonic War in America. They fought on the British side, on American soil. But then the British lost the war to the Americans. We fought as colonial marines. So even though our former foreparents, who eventually called Americans, because they couldn't have used those Americans, Americans,
Used to call we
Americans. They came here with dignity. And I want all to note, as a reminder, you will know if you do history, when they came here in Trinidad and Tobago, slavery was in progress. Because as we know, slavery was somewhere 1833, about. Right. So could you imagine, from 1816 to 1833, we were given respect, the Americans were given lands. And lands, that 45, some 45, some did not. But the thing is this, we were given lands and we were recognized by the then administration and they placed us in the company where it is. But this, our sister who I'm speaking to here, our dear matriarch, SMYKE, RITA SMYKE, you are getting authentic information. God have allowed her to live in a time when we have social network. Well, maybe she was here, right, okay. Social network, you have the internet, Sister SMYKE.
Yes.
And right now, as you are speaking here, what will happen, our colleague here, Mr. Clifton, Hollis Clifton, he's the camera person here, he's the videographer. He actually does work on behalf of some of the major entities as regard journalism in our country. So this piece of information is the most valuable piece of information I have been involved with to date. My paws are actually raising because there may or may not be another occasion like this. Now, so this is very important for me to at least brief people to know, those who may have just been hearing about the MERIKIN for the first time. So when they came here in 1816, thereabout, they were sent down to the company, to the off-British town. But they maintained their regimental format as colonial marines, sergeant this and corporal that. So they were very much tuned into already being able to get themselves organized. But what happened, they found themselves planting into agriculture, cocoa, cassava, etc. They were very much well organized. But the taboo came about maybe when the Babas thing, the Babas, But I'll tell you something, that it's about you today. I could recall you telling me about this road. They used to build a road out of, you remember the road they used to build in those days?
In those days, when I was a small child growing up, first we had the mud road.
Mud road.
Used. Now, the real Madenga road, they had mud and then they turned it to
I know the
we
name.
used to burn.
Yes.
And gravel road used to call it.
Yes. I the name that slipped me right now, but maybe at the end of the I will be full. But I recall where to you went.
So I rather Macadam road.
Right. You are yet Macadam.
Yeah, that is the correct name.
Right. Yes. Now give her kudos, give her a round of applause, because on the first occasion when she was a mere 104 years old, she reminded me of that. Could you imagine? And she's 106 and she can't remember that. And this evening she's not in the best of health, but she has given us the opportunity. Macadam, that's it. So you were speaking about the road. Okay, go ahead. The road. That's the mud road, then the Macadam. It was made by the Americans.
Yes. Madenga Road was Macadam Road. And also the Fifth Company Branch Road. All those was Macadam. We didn't know growing up Macadam.
So you all, for your listeners, you all are hearing Mrs. Smyke, 106. She recalls definitely that from Mud Road to Macadam.
Yes, the first was Mud Road.
And the vehicles back then, could you remember vividly?
And from Mud Road, they go on to the Macadam Road.
Macadam Road, right.
And then they go on to the Pit Road.
Oh,
well,
right.
we used to say Mud Road, we used to say Gravel Road.
Well, firstly was Mud Road, then Gravel Road.
Yeah,
All right.
Gravel Road.
And then asphalt.
All right. Now, as in reference to the houses back then, you and people used to have to use the outhouse. That I guess you grew up in that environment. Every house had an outhouse or what you call a latrine. And
Well, the poor class, we used to live in, what I would say,
Shacks.
well, in those days, they just called it shack, that the poor class. But my growing up days, those days, cocoa was in existence. And when you are a cocoa proprietor, you come as a rich person.
Yes. Yes.
So my grandfather, he was a cocoa proprietor. He had, when you have more than 5 lots of land or 6 lots, you used to call yourself rich.
Oh, yes.
And supply cocoa and coffee.
Yeah.
All right.
So the poor class of people again, you mean,
Yes.
they used to look up to us.
You know, as you speak about the cocoa, 2 things come to mind. One, our cocoa, I think to date, if not, is very much premium. it became premium cocoa in the world. Premium, and also for voting in the early years, you have to be a proprietor of worth, a certain amount of money and estate to be able to vote.
Yes.
So you could recall that. Because your grandfather was a proprietor of...
Yeah, my grandfather was a cocoa proprietor. He had 2 different parcels of land. One parcel at the Madenga Road, and the one where we call the main estate was on the Rock Road.
Penal Rock Road.
No,
Yes.
Penal Rock Road was higher up.
All right. The lower Rock Road.
Yeah,
Alright.
that was higher up than where my grandfather's
right.
property was.
Okay.
They used to call their rock.
Rock.
Some people would say Rocky Drain.
Now, mind you all, people, again, I want to just plug in, because she's really personal. But I am amazed, I don't know if you all are. She distinguishes those roads, the Mandingo Road. Now, I know of Penal Rock Road, but she corrects me and tell me she knows even though Penal Rock Road is way up. People who are just a mere 60 or 71 like me cannot sometimes retain. So again, let's give her applause, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, because this is unprecedented history. This is very much unprecedented history, where you have the ability at 106 to sit, and your daughter, she says you're not in the best of health today. And so far, oh my, it's amazing. So you were speaking about the estate that your grandfather had, and the premium cocoa, and what again?
The main estate my grandfather had was on the Moruga Road. What I'm talking about, not Madinga Road,
Right.
and Moruga Road. So I was born in that part of estate that he have on the Madinga Road.
All right.
And on the Madinga Road now, where we had 2 sections. One section start from the, you say from the St. Cross Road.
Kumuto? Is it Kumuto?
No, Kumuto.
Oh, all right. She corrects me. All right. Thank you again. Yeah. I know what you're speaking about.
Well, I was really living not on the Kumuto area, but a branch you would call it on Kumuto area. Because before we reach there is 2 Kumuto. Before you reach to that Kumuto on the Madinga Road, that starts from the ending of Madinga Road, from the school then I must say.
From the school.
From
Fifth
the
Company
school.
School.
From the Fifth Company School.
Yes.
That start from there and end up on the Madinga Road end between the branch. Kumuto Road, Madinga Road.
All right. Okay.
Now Kumuto Road start from the ending of Madinga Road, that going way up on your left hand.
All right. Yes. I'm seeing it. So
when you take it on that side, we have 2 Kumuto. When you take it the ending of Madinga Road, that was a branch. Madinga Road end here and branch over to the same Moruga.
to the back, and you go up to Moruga Road.
Yeah.
All right. But right now there are some newly built roads right now. Well, we have spoken about the roads, but in growing up, back in those times, let's say 100 years ago, 95, 90, you had to go to school, and the conditions of having to walk to school, sometimes children and their clothing, how you mentioned the poor. How the poor survived having to...
Oh boy. Well, on my side, I wouldn't say we was on that
poverty
side, because my grandfather which is John Philip, he had provided a portion of land and he built a house. But you know those days was mostly carrot house.
Yes.
Galvanized wasn't, when you have a galvanized house, there is a matador.
I hope you are hearing that. Carrot house was the popular house being built. So let's say 110, 150, because if our dear sister is 106, so she would have experience coming into a system where carrot house was the order of the day. Carrot house.
Carrot house is only the big shots and them used to have the galvanized house.
Is that how Alan Campbell managed to call his business Carrot Shed? Get you!
Yes, yes, yes. I like that.
You see?
And you know what has happened? I'm happy you mentioned Alan Campbell, because Alan Campbell, my dear friends, while she will have her immediate children, Alan Campbell, we must indeed applaud him. Let's applaud him.
Yeah, he's married into your family.
He's married into your family, and I love that man. I think we love that man because he has been able to be very much representative of being a man of quality, of standards. Because let me plug in here. Last year, the Seventh-day Adventist Church to which she belongs, or I believe I was about the youngest community recipient of not last year's, at the 57th and 57th Independence Anniversary Award. Yes, I was amongst a few elderly personnel.
Okay.
Yeah. And our dear sister also got an award.
Okay, wow.
And I can recall meeting Alan there. And it was so interesting to know that the churches, they saw her as a value, and your humble servant was part of that small gathering.
Yes.
And I think that we ought to have more men with exemplary actions, like Alan, what? Alan Campbell.
Alan Campbell.
Yeah. I'm sure you love him as your son. I'm sure you love Alan as your son.
Which member of your family he got married to?
He's asking him which of your daughters he got married to?
Alan Campbell.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Which one of them?
First, second?
June.
June.
June Smyke.
June.
Okay.
Yes. June. She's could you just Alan is that here?
No.
Oh. Your
One second.
son?
I take your pack, eh?
Yeah, no sin.
June. You were quite right. Yeah, okay. We know that. Okay, we just step in this a bit because right now our dear sister Smyke, she's staying at her residence. She's at the residence of Alan Campbell, who is her son-in-law, and her daughter June. But we were speaking about the people and the buildings back then, and somehow I see you seem to have had a pain for those who were poor since you was a small person. You witnessed people who were under the poverty line, and even how you made out back then. You used to share with them how you made out as a person growing up with those people who were poor. How you handled them, how you befriended them, what you did in your own way to support them.
Well, my own way. I was growing up not knowing the meaning of poverty.
Okay.
All right.
You see? As I tell you, my grandfather, he came, he was a Grenadian and all of him. And he provided for his grandchildren, his children and his grandchildren. Because my mother is the last of his seed. My mother.
So, but somehow, were you so in that respect, you even though you were so very young, you disliked people being poor. You didn't like people being poor. That's so nice. That's so nice of you. So that time sped by, and on the transportation wise. What about transportation? As far back as you can remember. Transportation. Transportation.
Foot.
Foot. From Mandego to Princeton, how you reach there?
Well, I can't tell from Madenga Road to Princeton because I didn't know Princeton until I get a big woman.
So that says a lot. For who may not know, Mandego Road is some 5 miles away.
Apart from Princeton.
Yeah. So you never leave Princeton until you become a big woman.
Of course I wouldn't lie.
Compare that to now, people. Now this is what happened. And God has blessed you to be in an era where there are several options for transporting and you are still alive at 106. So when you have to look back, now let's fast track now. You are here today with us and we're looking at what do you think about the food from now and back then? Give us your opinion.
Well, in my school days, the first school that I went to was on the Madenga Lengua Road.
A wooden construction.
That is the Madenga Road section. That is to be joined with the St. Cross Road section. You understand? When you reach St. Cross Road, that is where there, well, I would say Chongli shop.
All right, Chongli shop. I know Chongli shop and St. Cross Road.
Well, that was how you would call
Going down
it?
A landmark.
A landmark.
Yeah,
That
yes.
is what I
From
want.
Lothian, that is from
Yeah,
St. Cross.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the landmark.
Yes.
So when you reach that landmark, taking you to the Barrapo section,
You turn left to go Barrapo, or you
Yeah.
turn right to go to Princeton. All right.
and then
All right.
Now tell me something about school days. What school did you attend?
well, as I was going to say, the first school that I attend was saying about 6 years, in my 6 years was Lengua School. That school was heading on the Madenga Road section. And the schoolmaster in those days we only used to have a schoolmaster and a schoolmistress.
Yes.
And then the brighter one, those who have the, more education.
Intelligence.
Yes.
Children, do you call them monitors? You call them monitor?
Monica, yes. that
Monitor.
was Monica.
Are you right there?
Yeah.
You are teaching?
Prefects we call it.
Oh.
Okay, prefects were the students, but monitors were the less qualified teachers. They were in the classroom.
Yes.
And then they would go and train.
That used to call them.
Yeah.
So those days were my first stage, ABC. Then I turned over to the St. Mary's Government School when I was the age about 9. Well, my schoolmaster on the Moruga Road section was one Dixon Williams.
Dixon Williams. All right. So after school, everything. So now, tell us something now. I know the time is kind of fast spending, but the food you used to eat, the food is so important. What you have to say about the food back then that may have kept you this age, the food. What you love, people would like to know.
In my section, in the morning when we grew up, because it was my stepfather was a contractor making garden, planting mottle trees and so on for the estate. A long time they had this, all you would know about the motel.
I know, yeah, the motel, yeah. Some lovely flowers, yeah.
Yeah, but it had two quality of motel.
Wow.
One,
Yellow,
yeah. And the next one,
lilac. Yes. She,
but
wow.
well, said me growing up days, we go up in contract.
So you know what the coal pot, the
Coal pot, fireside.
fireside. All right. Okay.
Fireside.
So at least you all know what the fireside is. Hollis, could you describe the fireside? She says the fireside.
That's where they cook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fireside where they would have used, I believe they would have used stone, and they put the wood and the
Yes.
stone. Now we had matches. You had the same matches back then.
Yeah, we know about matches.
Same matches back
That's
then.
what we know about.
All right. Okay. And at the festival time, like at Christmas time, we had to boil this and boil that and fix up. What do you remember?
That is the bright time for us when you see Christmas time come around.
The cooking.
That is when they're buying ham, roasting hog leg, and they cook. That is Christmas time.
You use the mud oven?
Yes.
Yes. Give us a taste of that mud oven. Where it was.
How did they make? What material they used to make this oven on? What
Mud.
kept it together?
They used to get this mud and mix it with the cattle
Down.
Lipe?
Yeah.
leaping.
Lipe, right.
Yes. Ah,
So you have one part to let out the ashes,
Yeah.
and the next part to that is to take out your bread when it's done. You understand?
Yes.
wow. Yes. So you call when you place in your bread with the long, what do you call it? The long stick, the flat. You place your bread, you pull it out.
Yeah.
And now, okay, bread. So much for bread. What about food cooking now? Give the water the most food cooking. Cooking food.
Well, I would say I was a queen those days with the food cooking, because my mother, we all plant a set of rice. Creole rice.
Pure rice or hill rice. Alright.
So we didn't know much about that down to ground. Some children would get up in the morning, you had to go and dig yam
Right.
to get a breakfast.
Now you heard this, Hollis?
Yes.
Some children, now what we are seeing here is something that is not normally repeated. And at 106, we will scarcely ever hear this in life. And all along her interview, she seems to be very much concerned for people who are underprivileged. And this
Yes,
is why
yes.
God has fed. What she said that she was a queen, and in the morning they had everything on a platter for her. Some children, before they go to school, have to go and dig to get a yam, get a cassava, and maybe that's for lunch.
Not
And then
the
they,
cassava, I don't know about cassava.
yeah.
Cassava is those who was planting.
All right. There you go. Tell us. So therefore, cassava wasn't the privilege to the bucket.
Not to that stage.
Wow. That's interesting.
Look, as you talk about interesting, I'm here on Facebook and somebody from the United States, Colin Marcel, is saying, interesting that you delve in the past to acquire historical perspective, which is so important. Kudos, my brother. Keep up the good work and be safe. Thumbs up, and he shows a national flag of Trinidad and
Nice,
Tobago and a heart, and he says, one love.
A round of applause for you, my brother.
Yes, Colin Marcel
Thank
went
you.
to government school with me.
Wow.
Orlando.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Colin.
Now, again, the most important exercise and thing you have said is the fact that you're concerned for the persons who were poor. I'm seeing it happening in your speech. And notwithstanding the fact that right now your offsprings and your son-in-law, they treat you as a queen, you still in your mind have that gut feeling that the people shouldn't be poor. And that is such a rewarding thing, because we talk about food. Now, if you mention the hill rice, what I know of the Americans is that the hill rice and the Benny, right? Many people cannot yet cook it in that original state, right? And I heard by the grapevine that you are a good cook. You tell us no. And right now, they are picking back up the rice. One of the main components in the American food cooking calendar, rice and belly. Tell us, with the rice cooking, tell us what are the major food that you said the rice, you said some cuckoo?
Well, our days, my childhood days growing up, is cuckoo and rice.
Cuckoo and rice.
Now, parents used to plant corn. Corn would meet corn.
All right.
Rice would meet rice. There are two kinds of rice we had in my growing up days. The water rice and the hill rice.
Okay.
The water rice is what the Indian them
All right.
plant.
Also called
Yes.
lagoon rice.
Lagoon, yeah.
Right, yes.
Yes.
And we, the Creole people, and them used to have the hill rice. So that were the...
Now before I move to rice, I recall about 50 years ago seeing where they used to have the large boxes and they would store the rice in the box. Right, yeah. And you said something about rice will meet rice. What about the weevils back then? How this, because people on the outside who may be listening, what's happening here?
It's true.
Yeah?
But weavers would, those, the poor class in planting, they wouldn't plant that amount of rice.
All right.
Just, they might plant to get just a few bunches because
Yeah. For home consumption.
All right.
the Indian and them used to plant rice. They used to plant, they call that the water rice.
Yeah. Or the lagoon rice, yeah, yeah.
Or lagoon
Okay.
rice. And the Creole people plant the hill rice.
Yeah.
So, it's two kind of a rice they will be planting. As they call it, we used to call it the Creole rice.
Yes.
Creole rice is a rice, red.
Yes. And some, yes, very well, right? More red than some white, right?
Yes, that was the Creole rice. And the lagoon rice was, well, you would say like the rice you would get now.
Regular rice, right?
In the shop,
Yes. Yes.
like that.
So therefore, a stable food, more or less, the bene and the rice. Bene and the hill rice.
Bena,
Bene.
yes.
What about the drinking aspect of it now? What beverage?
You're back?
Squash.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell, before we finish our talk here.
Well, the drinking problem,
Okay. Take your time and do quick.
I wouldn't lie. That used to come on Christmas season, or you see from Christmas Eve,
Yes.
the people them would be making it. You have those who would be making their rum,
The babash.
Babash and Myron themselves. But in my days growing up, my mother home, we knows nothing about that.
So stick up in there. So people who are listening, wherever you are, when she said she's making a drink, it refers to a beverage called babash. Actually an illegal stuff named babash, or we call it bush rum. So you can recall earlier she made a statement whereby many of the people back then didn't want to be referred to as American because it was taboo. It was, oh God, boy, nah, boy, that I don't want to be.
At least my
Yeah.
son, my section,
Okay.
my race section.
No, so what she's saying, in her home, somehow, her home was a home that did not have the babash and the rum type thing, you know. But however, she knows that people used to make it.
Of course,
right,
I
okay.
have
All right.
cousins used to
All right.
plant.
All
I
right.
want to read something
Big
from our
babas.
family.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
this is something from one of your relatives in Toronto, Sean Mohammed. Love and blessings to Auntie Rita. Pleasure and joy seeing her in the history. Memories of visiting when I was a child. That is Sean Mohammed from Luthians, my brother-in-law.
All right. Sean Mohammed, your boy, right?
You remember Sean? He used to visit you when he was small. Rupert Mohammed.
Oh, Rupert married to my
Wow.
Barbara.
Barbara.
Yes, and I married to their daughter, Karen Mohammed.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So you want to use one of the in-laws?
Yes.
So there, again, applaud to my brother.
Yes, I'll take a bow for that.
And now, so this is what we are doing here, because Mr. Campbell, we are getting, we're on Facebook, so we are getting people from all over the world right now interacting. One of our nephews, nephew?
Sean Mohammed.
Sean Mohammed, now from Toronto.
Okay.
Barbara's son.
And Barbara, yes, yes. You know, I am actually, we are, now what has happened here, I was just longing that God will bring back her son-in-law in time, Mr. Campbell. I mentioned before that this gentleman whom I have communicated with is extremely critical in the well-being of our dear sister. And I know, despite his busy schedule, despite Campbell's busy schedule, right? Despite his busy schedule, we are of the firm view that God has planted him as an in-law to ensure the longevity of our dear sister. So again, you know, for an occasion like we have applauded twice. Let us give him a round of applause for his coming again at time. Right, Hollis. Yes, let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Mr. Campbell, we are indeed very much pleasured. And well, June, your wife, she said that when we came, she wasn't of the best of health, but somehow, as we went by, she was able to speak as someone who is just a mere 60, 65. And we really thank God for your being here. I want you to tell us how much do you think that you care for her on the phone.
You can borrow the mic.
Borrow the mic. Yeah, anyway.
Well, I care for my mother-in-law just as much as I cared for my own biological mother. As a matter of fact, my mother-in-law, she treats me like a son, not a son-in-law. Right? And I'm grateful to God for that, because very rare you have son-in-laws who are honored by their mother-in-law. Eh? Okay, very rare that happens.
Right. So what advice can you give to son-in-laws per se? Because it's not every day, as I was saying a while ago, when I can recall myself at 8, 9, 10 years, when I was approximately 8 to 9 years, so that is 61 years ago, Mr. Campbell, I could recall seeing her walking. We became friends, you know, she passing our street, come in. What advice can you give to son-in-laws? And there's some secret, there's something you can give for them to, in this world like it is. What advice you would give to them?
Me?
If they, no, Mr. Campbell.
Alan.
What advice you can give to the son-in-laws?
It's a simple advice, you know. It's no secret or magic about it. Treat your mother-in-law like your mom, your own biological mom.
That's it.
There we go.
One of the viewers said to me, Megan Francis Carrington, so Hollis is American in law.
Well, thank you for that, man. Yes, tell him thanks. Yes. Because what is happening strange here, Mr. Campbell? This occasion is unprecedented. Something like this have never happened in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, and maybe I want to believe it may not ever even happen again. Because with all the hybrid stuff that we are using, with the everything is not leading us to retain. Because your mother-in-law was able to retain and remember things that occurred over 100 years ago. That is remarkable. Hollis, you have a beautiful shot at it there.
Yeah.
What? Keep like that. Okay. Now, so in fact, what we are looking at is that
synergy.
That synergy. Now, and I know what is nice. Mommy, grandmom, Smyke, took his hand. But you know, so I am not seeing someone here who is looking for pity. I'm seeing someone here who is enjoying the abundance of life. Is this love that I'm seeing? Yes. Oh, yeah. Hollis, a good time for you to sing a song.
Yes.
All right, stay right there. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. For it was grace that bought my liberty. I never knew just why Christ came to love you so. Mommy smiled, but He is our Lord. We love you all the way. I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary to view the cross, Mommy Smyke, where Jesus died for all of us. Oh yes, I won't be longer because let me just cut there because I don't want to take much time because she has been there. Much young people would not be able to be this long. Huh? No, I don't want to continue more singing because you have been sitting here for quite a while. I mean, I would have sung for the whole night, but I have to be reasonable.
I want to read something.
Yes.
This is from Karen Clifton, my wife. She says, "Love it, Auntie Rita is my grand aunt. She is a very knowledgeable lady. Love and peace to you, Auntie Rita, and your caregivers." Party done.
Wow.
Rosalind Jackson, American, say, "Hi, family all." Jackson, that's American.
She is a team member on our American Heritage Foundation.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
right.
those Jackson.
Rosalind, thank you so much, man. Thanks so much. Rosalind, thank you so much. This has happened. We are viewing history that would never repeat itself. Okay. This is a very unprecedented occasion. It came very timely and I had to grasp it. As a matter of fact, Rosalind, I'm in the presence of the home of our dear matriarch sister, the Honorable Sister Smyke, Rita Smyke to be exact. And as you saw a while ago there, her son-in-law, Mr. Campbell, was on her right. And this gentleman is so very humble. It's incredible. It's very incredible. Your humble servant, Rosalind, I've had the pleasure last year of receiving a community award, and in the presentation, when I saw my dear friend who I knew 61 years ago, I was near taken to tears because of the fact that the Seventh-day Church in Princeton saw it fit on a second occasion to give me an award. And let me tell you something, that to me, when I saw the award also given to Sister Smyke, I told myself that life is worth living. And I want to pray very much that we would not leave her alone. I have a token to give to her. Hollis in the bag, you have a bag too. Now, I'm giving her this is the first etched American cup that I will give to her. Now, all it's in it. Right, okay. It is the first etched American cup that was made by a, I'm a former firefighter. It was made by a firefighter paid. If you observe, you can view in there. Our foreparents who came via the transatlantic journey, they came firstly from Africa. They came from Africa, as you will know. And all of us can relate to that. We don't know who from our bloodline immediately died. It is said that people were literally thrown off the boat to lighten the boat. And if you can see, can you view in on the boat? Yeah. Now, so you are right, is she a right-hander?
Yes, she's a
right. So therefore, when you hold this, anyone seeing you drink, you will see it's the first time this was ever made with an American, right? So this is to be cared, this is to be, each morning you drink your tea, whatever it is, this is your cup. Now, what is happening here, it brings us back to very high emotions. I know some of you are some part of the world, somewhere you are. Now, the American Heritage Foundation, we are a team of American. We work very, very hard. We have traveled throughout the world, and we've even gotten into the air and the heart of the United Nations to let them know that there must be some measure of concern for the Americans. Now, in like manner, we've heard about the Maroons who are in Jamaica. The Maroons are also in Suriname and other places. And what we are looking at is to identify and to, in fact, let them know that we have a concern for them. And in our country, we believe and that our sister, the residence of our dear, humble son-in-law, Mr. Campbell, a serious businessman in this part of the country, who has taken time off to have her give her the attention that he gives to his mom. So we love them, and on behalf of the American Heritage Foundation, I give you this first time ever made in the world cup. And may God bless you, sister. And we love you all. Thank you, brother, and your family for taking care of her.
So it's not only the parents that take good care of you.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, those people in Canada, all of them watching.
They watch it?
The Mohammeds.
Oh, the Mohammeds.
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, we must give thanks to the social network system, because I'm made aware that we have gone global, and much thanks to our videographer, Mr. Hollis Clifton, who is, you can't see him right now, he's on the other side. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Hollis' wife is a relative. I have a few of that for you also in my bag, right? Mr. Hollis Clifton is in fact a relative, an in-law of you, because Hollis Clifton's wife, that is a man who is our foremost videographer in this country, I would say, because the fact that he was a teacher and knows about the educational aspects of understanding the thing. He spent 8 years in Africa, in Namibia?
In different countries.
Different countries.
9 in Botswana, 2 in Nigeria.
9 years in Botswana, 2 in Nigeria. And apart from that, the quality of his work travels all over the world. And were it not for our dear brother Hollis Clifton, who is the videographer of this particular unprecedented occasion, we would not have had the opportunity to be showing you in Canada, you in America, you in Africa, you in Asia. This is an unprecedented occasion. The very first time in history, I believe, and I will try to validate even more, that we've had in the person a female 106 years and very coherent. And for this we thank God. May God bless us all.
Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
A comment, Williams Elizabeth, blessings to her from Jersey. Thank you, Hollis Clifton, for sharing. Karen Clifton replying to Sean Mohammed. Sean Mohammed, I will call her. Karen says the oldest living American. Woo.
All right, we thank you all, and we hope that somehow we can set up maybe a unit. And Hollis, I'll help you here.
Yeah.
We have to have a global fraternity to facilitate this activity. We don't want this to just go down like that, right? Because you are very coherent. And could you imagine, I am just a 71 years old, and she reminded me, is this boy, is that? You know, I mean, it's amazing. God bless you.
I want to ask her one question before she goes.
Yeah.
No, Granny,
Yes, sir.
you are American and you live on the cocoa plantation.
Of course.
Did you dance the cocoa dance?
I used to.
Used to. Could you still dance it? Could you move around? Give us a little.
She doesn't walk.
She doesn't walk. Okay. But it was a nice dance.
It was a nice dance.
What did the cocoa dance do to the cocoa itself?
That is to give it, we have to see the right color it should have.
Clean it also.
And make it shine? Shine. And it's ready for the market.
Then it goes to the market.
So it is.
When we pick the cocoa, because we used to pick our cocoa ourselves, helping them.
Yeah.
You cut that in half, you take out what is in it, they used to put that at least a couple of days, sweating, used to call that sweat the cocoa. And when you put that to what I loved about, the less is about 5 or 6 days, you sweat it. That you get the fig leaf, you make a room for it, you put it there. And when about 5 or 6 days after, you uncover that and then put the cocoa to dry.
Mm-hmm.
So that cocoa, according to the sun, the more sun you get and the quicker sun it gets, that makes it shine. So before that ended, you have to dance that cocoa and give it another stage to shine. That is the last stage.
Process.
So the brighter this more sun the cocoa gets, the brighter it will be.
Okay.
And then you take it to the market. And according to the quality of the cocoa in, you get a quicker sale.
Okay.
Could you imagine? Let's just come up. The cocoa is established as our cocoa is the most premium cocoa in the world.
Finest in the
Yes.
world.
And the detail that she has given, on 3 occasions I've heard persons who, well, no disrespect, who have their degrees. But our dear sister, 106 years old, was able to detail to us what transpires with the cocoa. This is amazing. Please, let's give her another round of applause now, man. Yes. This don't come every day at all. And mind you, as he sets his contraption, do you know that right now, people all over the world are actually watching you and seeing. Now, you have lived through the era over 100 years ago when there was not even a phone. Even Alexander Graham Bell, they say that, but the phone, maybe, could you imagine? You have lived through that era when there was no phone in Mandingo Road to a time when we have a mobile phone.
No even lights.
Not even lights. Last time we spoke about lights. So when night comes, oh gosh, Hollis, boy? When night comes, what transpired in the night? Oh gosh, tell us.
Go to bed early.
Without light, yeah.
Going to bed early because it have plenty. The older set used to set up and relating stories and so on.
All right, all right.
Especially moonlight.
Dutzy
Yeah,
in
when
the
moonlight
moonlight.
come.
Oh, Dutzy in the moonlight. I remember that song. Dutzy in the moonlight. Da 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 da. Yes. How do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
I had an end of that. I had the tail end of it, like when the storm passed. But I could recall. Yeah, so in the night now, so when it's moonlight here, when no moonlight, you go in bed.
See the older heads on moonlight time or night time, you light your flambeau. Those who could afford to buy lamp, I said those who could afford, you know,
All right.
to buy lamp.
And the carrot house, eh?
Because there are so many who couldn't afford to buy lamp. They used to get a milk cup and then make a week, put the petrol. That would be their lamp.
Yes, yes.
And who can't even afford to do that or haven't the sense of doing that, because everything you have to have here. They would do different things.
Eden Charles is
Some would
watching.
buy-
His family too.
All right. Information? What is it?
Eden Charles, he's just
Okay.
watching.
Now, could you recall, stick a pin, I have to, Mr. Campbell, in your presence on 3 occasions, I had to kind of applaud her for, she always seemed to have a pain for the poor. There again, we spoke about the light. She said that her father, her grandfather, because of the fact that he had a more esteemed person, we could have bought a lamp. But then there again, her concern for those who couldn't even buy a lamp. Could you imagine?
Those who couldn't buy a lamp, they get a milk tin. You know those condensed milk
Yes,
tin
yes,
that
yes.
they would have now? And they make a cover, their own cover, and they put a week in that would be theirs. And who can't even, who haven't the idea, I must say, of making that? They use a flambeau.
She remember all these
Going
things.
on.
Of course she remembers it. You know what's fantastic about her? Every day she prays for me. Whether she say or when she up at where she Princess Town. Every day she prays for me, and one of the things she always say, right? God give him long life, right? And I'm wondering, that's a nice thing. But if I have her memory, her recollection and thing at her age, if I could live that, yeah. But
Hallelujah.
At my age, I'm 70.
I just forget to.
I'm 73.
I must confess.
I just forget.
I just forget.
Easily.
I must confess.
She is 106.
Six.
Yes.
And
December
counting.
29, she'll be 107, right?
Mhm.
And she remembers things from little girl, you know, little girl. She
But
could
she
tell what
corrected
school
me.
she went to, who was the headmaster,
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
a teacher and all this sort of thing.
She
I
obtained
can't remember that.
I wonder if she remember the games they used to play. What games you all used to
What
play?
game do you used to play?
Tin Cups, O'Grady
In
say.
what game?
Well,
Games,
hopscotch and-
Amongst your friends.
What?
No, I mean they are different games.
Tell us about
Tell
it.
us.
Tell her the games.
When our games used to play hide and seek,
Okay.
All right.
and then we had the girls skipping days,
Uh-huh.
All right.
Hopscotch,
hopscotch, and not only hopscotch.
moral.
What about we for Dolly House?
Well, to me, I did like my skipping.
Mm.
I did like to skip when I was small. That I used to enjoy skipping.
You play sway? You can't-
Swinging.
Sway. Okay, you play marble win with the boys?
Oh, don't talk about that. And 3 hole.
Right. That boy, I thought it was only boys play that.
You know about that? 3 hole.
But hopscotch, you play hopscotch?
Huh?
Hopscotch.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Come
Come here, dress up for here. Come on, let me get the picture.
Yeah.
I beg your
That's
sister.
one of my favorite too.
Yes.
Playing hopscotch,
Yeah.
skipping.
All right.
What's that?
Well,
That's what I guess you just like it. You know,
Get closer.
in our immediate presence, we have a dear, darling daughter who don't like the camera, but I was praying all the time that her darling husband may come and have some measure of influence.
Yes.
Not coming, you know. So again, few people here, if you whether you're in Africa, America, wherever you are, just give her applause.
yeah, she do.
Give her applause.
All right, here.
Although June was last month, but June is present. So
One before last.
June bring back June in July. June, how do you ready?
Phone going.
How do you, Mom, could you imagine in this world? We hear a phone ringing somewhere there. Let the phone ring. I mean, could you imagine 100 years ago, or 95 years ago when you were a child, a phone ringing in the back there? You hear something like that? You hear a phone ringing.
I come for this walk. Sign me up.
Hey June, tell us.
Give me the mic.
How do you feel as it is right now to know that your mom is 106 years old? My mom died at 78, about 10 years ago. How do you feel, June? I never get it. I mean.
And is it the American in you? Tell us about it.
Well, one thing her 5 children
American.
always says is that we hope we get her genes. Because at that age, 106, and if you look at her face, not a wrinkle,
Could you imagine?
right?
Now watch that.
Yes, boy.
That's
You
it.
people, Hollis,
What's that
please,
people
I'm
are
saying,
people?
let those people in North America or wherever they are in the world, you all are looking at one, for those of you who have just signed in, man,
No makeup, eh? She doesn't use makeup and
106
they-
years old.
Yeah.
Look at
Now, what I'm seeing, you recall she said they polish those cocoa. She's like a teak tree. Now, a teak tree is amidst several other trees. Our dear sister is amidst several other human beings. But all the radiant fire that goes through a forest, as teak tree smiles. So there it is. She has been able to withstand everything and be smiling, not a wrinkle. And June, I know you have talked about it, but I think we should tell us what you think has caused you not to even have a wrinkle.
What's the secret?
What's the secret?
Oh, Mike,
What do you mind?
what is the secret?
What having the secret
Let's
of
talk.
keeping me to this stage, I must say, is God.
Okay, right, okay.
Hallelujah.
All right.
It's God. Because when
Clean
we
her.
growing up, people now using all sort of thing on their skin for beauty. And my beauty growing up, small, when my mother bathed me, she coconut oil there. Every bath we take, every bath she gave us, we had to rub down. She coconut oil there, and she would soak we had with some of the oil or put lard, because those are the grease we know about long time. Lard, pork,
Pork fat.
salt pork.
Yeah.
They used to sell
Yeah, salt
a
pork.
penny lard or a cent lard or a penny pork or
No.
that's what we know about.
No, there's no scent anymore.
Well, that's important.
I said
I
what
know
the
that when I see a cent or a penny.
We don't send again.
It's outdated.
It's outdated.
No cent, no
That's for
penny,
the museum now.
They come like the shilling.
and no farthing neither.
No.
No firing, yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
British.
well, as a matter of fact, as we are under June, the fact, children, with all this smart, the farthing, you actually had a farthing. You went to the shop with a farthing. You went to the shop with a farthing,
Of course,
and what a farthing bought?
half of a cent.
What it bought? What you could have purchased with a
I
farthing?
go as farthing.
Huh?
What you getting? You're getting next to nothing.
Oh,
eh?
right, right.
But you're still getting what are your farthing. You go with a cent, you're getting what of your
All right.
sin.
Okay.
You go with a penny, the same thing. You get food for penny saltfish. Where you can get that? A penny saltfish.
Yeah.
I want a penny pork. You know, that we know about penny and cent and farthing.
And you can't get nothing even with 5 cents.
Then they come in when this 5 cents business. When the 5 cent business I did on big already.
Okay. Now, I know you went through the World War. You spoke about your father was a Grenadian.
June, we're going on to ask
June,
you
yeah,
about
okay, June.
Growing up
June.
on the moment, you used to cut
Yeah.
your tail and thing.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Come back. Right.
Your phone.
Now, your father was a Grenadian. Your father was a Grenadian.
My father,
Grandfather.
Your grandfather. All right. Okay. But during the World War, as you were quite an adult during the World War. When cards, you have to use line up for cards. And the World War.
Ration cards.
Ration cards.
Russian can.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like yesterday for you. All right. You recall that? Do you recall the ration cards?
Of course, when Russian card come in, that is the time James was about. Must be James was about 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, I bought it 14.
My son.
Yeah, you're about that age, yeah. What boy? Very good. Very good, boy. Very good.
She had memory like, but I don't know, at the tear or kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's
So,
very fantastic.
wait a minute. You recall that? You recall James being about.
James is the first son.
Wow. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I remember.
He died.
But she remember when she was young? When she was
Yes,
going to elementary school?
Yeah, she.
Why she didn't remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you had other brothers and sisters. Okay, I think it's worthwhile for us to know you had a brother or sister.
Of course.
Okay.
My brother,
I have a question here from somebody.
when my brother died, a couple of years now yet since Edgar died.
And your sister who died?
What was the
Tina.
guy?
Yeah.
Died Tina.
Yeah. And
But
your
I
brother
know
a few years
his
ago.
2 sisters have died, you know.
Oh, I know one.
The first one died was Clementina, she was Mistress Downing.
All right.
And then this
Question.
last one
All right.
died.
There's a question. Someone from out of the country. Now we have modern systems now. Someone want to ask a question. Hold on, right.
The person is Gabriel Dion Lamard Williams. He says, this convo is a blessing. Thank you. Ask her if she's ever run a susu, please.
Susu.
A susu. Have you ever run a susu?
Yes, I up to now.
She's still in a susu.
Wow.
No.
Now, as a matter of fact, Mr. Gabriel, I hope we can stay there right now. Now, right now, the American Heritage Foundation, we are trying at Indian Walk, there's a lodge, Society Lodge.
Of course.
I can recall we're going to pay at 25 cents or so about 60 years, 55 years ago on my grandmother or father's card. Now, right now, Mr. Gabriel, I want you to know here is very carefully. Now, our dear sister here, if you had not come, she's 106 years old. She is allegedly our matriarch in the American fraternity. Okay, if you have not come in again, for those who have not joined us, we didn't intend for the marathon, but God have allowed us to. Now, the American is a group of Africans who came to Trinidad. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you why she don't like the head American. They came to Trinidad in 1816, our foreparents. But it was alleged in those years that they were frowned at because Governor Woodford, the then governor, placed them there. They worked as colonial marines and fought on the British side and lost the war. The Britain lost the war to America. So when they came here, they sent them and they opened the villages.
The companies.
The company villages.
Companies.
So each company had a name bearing that of their US battalions. So what's happened, sir, because you may have just come on, we are now interviewing, to the best of my knowledge, since I've been involved there about 40 years plus ago, the oldest person or female to date, I believe, will validate that, who is American. Mind you, there may be people who near her age or 100, but they are not as coherent. We have been speaking with her for the past hour, and she has not shunned. She has been very, very much, she put me to shade. As her son-in-law is here, I just forget, I must confess, I forget sometimes. But she has been able to remember things that took place 90 years ago, 95 years ago. Now, so the Americans now, we want to get so much out of her, right? This is why, so right, we are here right now. What's the question he asked? Okay, okay.
Need to wind up.
Okay, all right. Okay, so for you people, this is part one. Part two will have to be Mr. Campbell. I thank God very much. Mom, we thank God for your being able to be so very coherent, and the whole world is watching at you right now. But because of the duties that are beyond our control right now, our dear brother, the videographer, Mr. Hollis Clifton, has a very efficient work to complete. We are indeed privileged to have him when we need him. So I thank you, and may God bless you, Mr. Campbell, and your dear wife, for ensuring that we can maintain the bloodline legacy. Thank you so much on behalf of the American Heritage Foundation and the Global American Fraternity. On part two, we will deal more with why she laughed like that. Thank you. Anything you want to say something fast? Yes, no.
Closing remarks.
Closing remarks. Closing remarks. You've got to go now. How do you feel today? Closing remarks, short.
Oh, I feel proud. I am feeling very proud, though I am not the standard in. Because the reason why I am not so standard in that, I suffer with my high blood pressure. And then, this morning when I woke up, it was shame to say, it was 2 o'clock. During the day, not 2 o'clock morning time, you know. 2 o'clock during the day.
PM.
I was ashamed. Ashamed to wake up, and these colleagues, my friends and them had already come. And just waking up and have to take an interview, and they just come, and my condition, sleep still in my eyes. So I was feeling shame about that one.
Could you imagine? She still has that capacity to feel shame if they feel shame. Eh? So let's give her a round of applause, man.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
Okay, so the final remark, Margaret Wiggins says, happy birthday to you. Truly a queen mother. Blessings on your 106, continued health and longevity. That's it. Why not? Music.
Jordan River is chilly and cold. It chills my body, but not my soul. Jordan River, chilly and cold. It chills my body, but not my soul. Every time I feel His spirit moving in me, I want to pray, Lord. Every time I feel the spirit in me, I want to pray. Oh, Jordan River, Sister Smyke, chilly and cold. It chills my body, but not my soul. Jordan River, chilly and cold, Jewel, it fills my body, but not my soul. But every time I feel His spirit moving in me, I want to pray.
Amen.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, doing good? It's a